Welcome everyone, this is going to be a long one. Planetside, they came out with their development update January 2024. So this is kind of just covering what they've already talked about in the past month or so about the Sunderer, the conduit. It covers cheating a little bit. So we are going to dive into this. Like I said, it's pretty long, so let's get into it. So starting up is the Sunderer is the first topic that they talk about here. Hello Araxians, welcome back to our monthly developer letter for Planetside 2. This month we have been monitoring the feedback of the last development letter and are happy to see that the proposed Sunderer changes were generally well received. Also, unsurprisingly, the most controversial change by far was the way the Sunderer repair works. For that reason, we felt it was worth diving a little more into here. It is easy to understand and sympathize with everyone that does not want the nanite proximity repair system to change. This is how it has always worked, and by now one of the only two meaningful roles it has left. When focusing on the latter fact, however, it becomes clear why this is a necessary change. The Sunderer has been pigeonholed into only two narrow basic roles, which could only be capable performing exclusively. That is, to be a competent AMS. The Sunderer requires the deployment shield, and that comes at the cost of supporting armor. This means that once someone has elected to take the nanite proximity repair system, they have removed any further meaningful decisions making from their play until they fully transition to infantry or reach a vehicle terminal. There is no ability to seamlessly transition into properly supporting the infantry assault that the armor push should have enabled, and all of the interesting gameplay decisions that revolve around it. The important thing to remember is that even with the cargo module, the Sunderer is still fully capable of supporting mobile armor pushes. The ability to place repair stations quickly on a cooldown is meant to do this, but now a little more consideration is required since there is some level of commitment when the button is pushed. This is a good thing, especially since it allows the Sunderer to have a much wider impact, as the Sunderer is not tied to the location where it needs to provide healing, making it much more mobile and increasing survivability. It is also important to note that the vehicle is also getting a large set of defensive upgrades that will make it much more difficult to destroy. By necessity, this requires a separation of the source of healing from the Sunderer. If the healing is strong, then the source of that healing needs to be vulnerable for counterplay. However, if it is very resilient, then the healing cannot be overbearing for the opposing force. Offloading the healing effect to a separate object with its own set of health and defense stats allows us to tweak these aspects independently. It's like adding an independently targetable module to the Sunderer so that opponents can degrade its performance without outright killing it, something that is currently lacking in the game. This hints at long-standing issues with vehicles in general suffering from single entity problem, where vehicle capability does not degrade until it is destroyed completely, making them very binary. Presently, vehicles are all in, which is where many of the balance issues stem from, but that is a deeper and more complicated issue to be tackled at a point in the future. So essentially the community didn't like the nanite repair system being replaced, and they said, well, we're going to do this, it's overall better for everybody, but we'll just have to wait and see, once this actually does come out. If it gets a lot of hate and is just terrible for the game, I'm sure that they will change it back. But for right now, they're saying, let's try this out, you guys might like it, so we'll just have to wait and see. Next topic they cover is cheating. We are very aware of how much an issue cheating has become. At the beginning of the year, we specifically dedicated developers to look closely at the issue and work on solutions. There is no one place or technique that hackers use, so we must tackle different problems independently and roll out solutions when we think the time is right. Unlike other features and changes, we will not be detailing exactly when and how cheating will be addressed. We hope everyone understands why that is not possible. It is unfortunately a Red Queen's race that is never finished and must be constantly worked on quietly so as to not reveal workarounds ahead of time. We can already see that our efforts should bear fruit over time, and we hope that you will notice much less cheating and at a greater distant intervals. Quick note, I don't know if you guys have ever played Rainbow Six Siege or some other online games, but those games are lucky because it'll tell you in the top right corner while you're playing the game, hey, this person has just been banned. You can see actively people being banned, cheaters and stuff. So it's really cool to see in games like Siege and other games when the developers come out with like a ban list, like, hey, we banned this many players this month, or you can see it in game. It just kind of shows the community, things are happening, people are getting banned, because right now, as they said, they can't tell us who's being banned and why they're being banned. They're keeping it secret, which is a good thing, so people that want to cheat can't, figure out how they're being banned. But at the same time, I think it'd be good for the community to see, progress, to see these people being banned. And the last part here is on reverting is the topic here. Before we end this January development letter, we would like to break down the concept of reverting changes and what it means. You may see it mentioned frequently and many times understand why, but it is important to understand exactly what reverting something means. Games are large, complex software projects with many elements that are independent and are constantly updated. Unless a change is only a patch or two old, it is impossible to revert a change in the traditional sense of just folding a single submission and clicking revert. Didn't they revert the med tool, like when they changed it to where it was ass? And then people were like, what the hell is this? They're like, alright, my bad, we'll change it back. Reverting changes, especially old ones, means reconstructing them from spotty information that is difficult to discover. This is a very time-consuming process that is as, or even more, costly than simply moving forward from where the game is currently. That is not to say that the past should be ignored completely. A better way to use past versions of the game is to take more abstract lessons about meaningful gameplay that was lost, which positively impacted Planetside 2, and reincorporating them in ways that are applicable to its current and future state. That wraps it up today for today's letter. As always, we thank you for your feedback. You can let us know what your thoughts are on the forums. You can let your thoughts spread freely on the forums, Discord, and of course Reddit. I would honestly probably do the forums and Discord before you delve into the Planetside 2 Reddit, because that place is a cesspool. But that is the dev letter for January 2024. So I'm excited to see. I'm ready to get on the test server and try out the Sunderer changes. Cheating, still an issue. I'm still getting comments about a hacker video I made like a year and a half, 2 years ago. People are still going on there and expressing their concerns. So that's going to be it here. If you guys have any thoughts, comments, make sure to put them in the in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.